This is Mr. Vern Clausen. So I used to fly with Vern. Oh, it's me, Sherwin. So I used to fly with Vern and Mr. Mike Coffee over here at Woodlawn way back in 2011. I flew with them 2011 to 2015, and yeah, and then I probably was a little bit late back then joining the pigeon races, but every time I speak to like different guys from different state, and if I say that I'm from San Antonio, they always ask for Vern. I'm very surprised. I'm like I flew with him, and I know Vern, of course, and I see him every Friday nights, and yeah. So what do you guys wanna
So,
start?
Vern Clausen, it's very nice to meet you. My name is Vincent. I just want to ask you a couple of questions because I'm new with pigeon sport, and I really love the pigeons. I love hanging out with them, spending time with them, and like you grew up with pigeons as well, and like how did you get into pigeon sports?
Well, I got into pigeons when I was about 9 or 10 years old.
9 or 10.
And I saw them flying in my neighbor's barn.
Your neighbors,
My
okay.
neighbor's barn. I lived in the country. And I wanted a couple of pigeons. And my dad said, no, we don't want any pigeons. But I persevered and stayed after him, and he brought home 2 pigeons to me. And that started it. So
Weren't you from California before?
I was
Vern?
from, at that time I was in southern Illinois.
Oh, Southern Illinois. Because what I knew from you is you were from California.
I was
Before,
from California for 20 years.
20
Okay,
years.
California.
And yeah, I had a lot of friends from Oregon, and that's what they knew you from. Like they said that you were from California. So you're Illinois, and then
Illinois. I went to school in Nebraska and Missouri, and then I went into the military.
oh,
Thank you for your service.
thank you for your service, sir. This is Richard over
I
here.
know,
Yeah.
I've met Richard.
Yeah, Richard is in the army.
Okay.
4 tours.
Yeah, that's
2
right.
tours in Afghanistan, 2 tours in. Where's that now, Richard?
2 in Iraq.
In
and 2
Iraq.
Afghanistan.
Yeah. So thank you guys for your service.
Yes, sir.
So tell us your background, sir. Aside from pigeon, outside pigeon, who's Vern Clausen? Like outside the pigeon racing. What's your background?
Well, my background was being raised in the country,
Okay.
and I was just an old country boy. I grew up there, went to school, went to college, went to military, came back, and then I moved to California as an educator.
Oh, so you teach.
As in education.
Education.
Yes.
Oh.
Then I had an opportunity to be an administrator in Houston, so I moved to Houston. And it was a little humid there for me, so I looked for a place
Houston.
where it was less humid. And San Antonio seemed like a good place. So I've been here since 1986.
86. Oh,
So
okay.
that's quite a few. We've lived right here in this place since that. I have flown pigeons all that while.
Since 9 years old.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. There's a lot of pigeons went through my.
The base family of birds.
That's gonna be one of my questions.
Over the years, that's changed. Many years ago, when we were flying distance races, the primary strains were Stasserts and Sions and Bastines. And I used to enjoy that very much. But then the Jansons came along, and they had a little more speed than those old distance birds. So everybody wanted the Jansons. But it was still a good time when I moved to Texas. People still enjoyed pigeon flying. And the clubs had a good number of people in them, and it was competitive. Nowadays the clubs are smaller in number, and the emphasis seems to be on one-loft races. And I think that's to the dismay of the pigeon world.
So what's your take about what's your take about like one law? Does it really kills the pigeon sport? as far as like club racing
I don't
is?
think it promotes pigeon flying. That's my opinion.
Right.
Most people would disagree with me, but I feel that one loft races discourage pigeon flying in the fancier's backyard. And originally, pigeon flying was a backyard hobby,
Yes.
and people enjoyed being in their backyard, taking care of their birds, showing their birds off, and sharing their birds. And
So-
those days are kind of gone forever.
So what do you think is like the causes of like the decline of club racing in the U.S.? As you know, like we're from the Philippines and it's thriving. It's growing industry. It's almost like leveling up with cockfighting over there nowadays. It's called a gentleman's sport. And what seems to be like the 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 factor that's
Well,
had dwindled.
in my opinion, there are several factors which discourage pigeon flying in the backyard. And one of them is that there are too many competing activities. The technological age with everybody having something in their hand that they can play with
It's true. Technology.
takes away from doing what you want to do in the backyard. And the second thing is the cost involved. Years
yes.
ago, we had a simple little clock that we
Right.
tucked our birds in. And now, if you're going to be competitive, you have to have a clock that costs around $1,000, a minimum of $1,000. And this discourages young people from being involved in the sport. And if you do have a young boy who says, yes, I'd like to have pigeons, and I'd like to fly pigeons, and his dad says, sure, I'll build you a little loft. And then he comes along and says, well, I need a clock, and I need to buy birds, and I need to buy feed. And Dad asks, well, how much is all that going to cost? And that's kind of where it hits the fan, I think. It's too expensive.
So,
Too expensive. I can remember when you would buy 100 pounds of pigeon feed for $5.
100 pounds.
And now, if you buy 50 pounds of pigeon feed from Des Moines, it's cost you $25 plus. So it's a different ballgame. It's a different age. And there are different interests that people have. Parents aren't encouraging so many physical activities either. So I think pigeon flying has seen its better days in the backyard.
so what do you think could have done? Do you think us as fanciers as well have something to be blamed for the decline of the sport? You think?
No, I
Is
think
there
we
a
have to
little
blame
bit?
ourselves. I don't blame anyone else. We let it get out of our control.
So what do you think we could have done better to like
What we could have done better was promoted the sport,
promote
Yeah, it's true.
promoting the sport, especially among young people, helping young people to build a loft. Not just saying, yeah, well, I'll give you a pair of birds if you want to have some birds, but help them build a loft, mentor them, train their birds with them, help them to be competitive till they enjoy it. Because it is an enjoyable sport.
Yes, I agree.
So we're talking about like training and with the foot conditioning and all that. So what's your like going back to like your the good old days if you would call it. What was your what were your greatest achievements as a pigeon flyer? I mean, for yourself, like what was your greatest? You would think that was your greatest achievement in the sport.
Well,
It's memorable for you.
I don't know if it's so much achievements as what pleased me as an
Yes,
individual.
yes. That's what I'm.
One year, I was the best. I was the best. What was the terminology? I was the best small loft racer in America. So that was an achievement. I won the Walt Disney Award a couple of times when I lived in California.
Can you tell us about the Walt Disney Award?
What club did you
Yeah.
join or did you fly in California?
Yes, I lived in Fresno, California.
Fresno,
And I
California?
flew with the Fresno Eastside Racing Pigeon Club.
Okay.
And that club is no longer in existence either.
Oh, it does not exist anymore.
In fact, in those years, Fresno was quite a hubdub for pigeon flying. There were 50, 60 flyers there.
In
And
Fresno.
now I don't think there's a club there anymore.
Wow.
So, so you see what's happening in the sport. And that had nothing to do with me or anybody else. That just happened because of,
So the Walt Disney Award, what does it entail? I mean, what's the Walt Disney Award?
pretty much the qualifications like Texas Center.
Oh, okay. So it's like champion loft or something like that. Okay. Any special bird in your history? Like any special bird that you own? Any name for it?
Well, I have had one special bird that I'll tell you about.
Yeah, can you tell us
And
about that?
I got it from a fellow who had been a pigeoneer during World War II. His job was taking care of pigeons. And so he gave me this little red hen when I was getting started. And he thought, well, this young guy, he won't do anything with it anyway, so I'll just give it to him. So I took it home, and I flew it 100 miles, 200 miles, 250 miles, 250 miles, because it didn't come home. But it came home about a week later. So I thought, well, I'll send it to the 300-mile race. So I sent it to the 300-mile young bird race from Redding, California, and it won the race by half an hour above any other pigeon.
That's a lot.
So
That's a lot.
so we went to open the clock, and it was the ugliest little bird you ever saw in your life. It was just nothing that would fit your hand.
Yeah, see, Richard is smiling there on the back because I was telling them about about the Hubins, how they're
Anyway,
not
let me finish my story.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah.
You're interrupting me.
Yes, go ahead. No, I like
All right, go ahead, go ahead.
Okay.
All right.
So thereafter, there was a boy in our club. He was 21 years old. And I said, buddy, how would you like to have a nice 300-mile winner? And he said, oh, yes, Mr. Clausen, I would like to have a 300-mile winner. So I gave it to him, and he took it home. And about a week later, he called me on the phone, and he said, Mr. Clausen, that's such an ugly bird. I don't think I want to keep it. So I said, well, buddy, just turn it loose. It'll come home to me, and I'll take care of it. Well, I was busy with my job, and the winter went by from young birds to old birds. And in old birds, I was short a hen. So I said, well, I'll just keep that little red hen and let her mate to one of my birds. Well, during the next 5 years, that little red hen won every race from 100 through 600 twice. Each race. That was the most fabulous pigeon I've ever owned. And you want to know what it was? I'll tell you the strain. It was Marriott and Delamonte. Oh, some of those old strains like that.
We don't even know that.
No, you
Yeah,
haven't-
never heard of that
You haven't heard
strain.
about it. But it was quite a pigeon. And it finally died in my loft. I had just been in there sitting on the nest, and I touched it. And the next time I went in, she was dead on her nest.
Did she had like any, descendants?
And
that
she never
that-
bred a bird worth flying.
Yeah, that's always happens, right?
Yeah,
A good
that's
breeder, not necessarily.
Tremendous pigeon. Never bred anything.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and we were just talking about it, and by the way, I acquired birds from Mr. Clausen here, and I own that. I showed the picture to everyone, and it really looks bad. It's a black pigeon. It's a black Cuban, and it has a small water. Looks like those komi.
Navy
Komi,
buns.
yeah, the one that's the barn pigeons. And I was trying to lose it. Because one is very ugly, and then two is he's one of those birds that doesn't trap right away. You know how when you all your birds comes in, he just stays there in the
Stubborn.
she was very stubborn. She was just in the tree, and she would fly like couple times a day, and she doesn't go until like late in the afternoon. She doesn't enter the trap until late in the afternoon.
Let me ask you a question. Whose fault was that?
Well, all of my birds are trapping, but that bird is not
Just
trapping.
answer the question. Whose fault is
Well,
that?
I guess you you gave me that ugly bird. No, but let me tell you, yeah. But come the race day, like I would throw we used to fly west, right? So that's the training that we would do. I would release her downtown, like past downtown, because I was trying to lose that bird. But she just keeps on coming home, and when she comes home, she just hangs out in the tree, flies couple of times a day, and she would go back home at in late in the afternoon. And then come a race day, those favorite ones, I even bought a surebit back then. That was my favorite. And guess what? On the race day, it didn't even come back. But that blackbird, the ugly blackbird was my first bird. And that was from Vern
Got the
Clausen.
back-
Yeah, it was a black Cuban. It was ugly as I don't know.
So it's not the look, it's the way he performed.
Yeah, no, really.
So what did you
It's,
do with the black bird?
Well, I lost him the following year to a hawk, but I flew it on 2012. It was a very ugly bird, but yeah, it was my first bird on my first
Well,
race.
I'm really upset that you would consider my birds to be ugly.
No, but they're darn good. They're darn good. Those are I've seen the from crossing the Miss Everglades, and it looks like that. They look like feral pigeons. But yeah.
can't wait to have some of your pigeons and to
Yeah.
fly them.
So what's okay, we're talking about the birds now, like the bird itself. So what do you look in a bird, Vern? What do you look in a bird to breed or to acquire? Let's say you're trying to acquire when you were acquiring birds back then, and you think that you're gonna be competitive with it. What do you look in a bird?
Well, I look for a bird that is got good balance,
Good balance.
good balance, muscular, good eye, good throat. I like a bird with a strong back, and most of all, I like a bird that fits my hand.
Do you prefer big, small,
Medium.
medium? Medium. Okay. Does it matter if they're like deep
So
kill?
what do you do with the big ones if they bred a big one and a small one?
I fly them all, but I usually end up keeping the medium size.
The medium size.
Oh,
So
Medium small is good too. And down here in this heat, the smaller birds have an advantage.
yes, I believe you.
Yeah. What about the deep kill kind of thing?
I don't like a deep keeled bird, but I don't like a shallow keeled bird either.
Yeah, because that's what I noticed. The one that I got, they're muscular.
Yeah.
And do you do when you race your birds? Do you do feathering or do you do natural? You fly in natural.
I don't know what you mean by
Like
feathering.
you flip
It's like
the
you
9th and 10th
the
flight.
eight- Yes, you do. Okay, and does that give you an advantage, or does it really help you, or the birds?
Well, I think it helps. Helps the birds because if they are in normal molt and you're flying a long race, and the bird is lacking the 9th or 10th flight, it's handicapped.
Yeah.
And you don't want your bird to be handicapped if possible. You want to have all the advantages of being competitive.
What about the eye? What do you look in the eye?
Eye
Do you
sign.
do you,
Do you believe in the eye sign?
I like eye sign.
You like the eye sign theory?
I like eye sign because I used to have Kalia Jansons and they were very rich in eye sign.
Really?
Then I had some Ad Charlicans and they had absolutely no eye sign. And one strain was as good as the other.
Okay. Yes.
So, what's the answer about eye sign?
it's preference.
It's unique with the fancier, I think.
So do you mate pearl to pearl?
No,
No. It's always the
Preferably not.
cross.
preferably not.
So, sir, do you do inbreeding?
Somewhat.
Somewhat.
But
Not all
I'm
the
not a
time.
great inbreeder. Not like the Europeans.
So, what's your opinion by mating like brother sister mating,
Yeah,
and parents to siblings?
I do that. But I use those for breeders primarily. I might fly them 300 miles, and then I'll stop them and use them for breeders.
And do you have prisoner birds?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Because my plan is right now is, just
Trying to be a Jansen brother.
I don't want to have prisoners in the future, and I'm trying to eliminate those. Not eliminate, but when they get older, I want to keep the pigeons.
Well, that was my attitude when I was younger too.
Really?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I thought, well,
You know who went on that direction, Vern? That I know you know. Rodriguez.
Daniel.
Daniel. Most of his birds are flown. Like he has like 2 stocks, and he only kept all the diploma birds that he got, and all of those he can fly them out, and he went on that direction. What about what are those? Okay, so that's breeding. So do you what about like pedigree, conformation? So are you more in conformation rather than like the race record or family background?
Well, I'm certainly interested in race records.
Race record. Okay.
I don't want to breed something that has no record.
So record.
So you rather have a pigeon that has a record without a pedigree?
I didn't say that.
Or he still goes back. Some
all my pigeons are pedigree.
All of them are pedigree. Okay.
Well, maybe what he was trying to say is a bird that is flown versus a stock
I
to
would
breed.
prefer to breed from a bird that's been successful in the races,
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, versus from the nest, right?
as opposed to buying a bird off eye pigeon that somebody says that this is the grandson of Sherpa.
Right.
So you do a lot of crossbreeding since you said you don't do a lot of inbreeding.
Well, I do some crossbreeding,
Some crossbreeding,
but about half of my pigeons are a simple strain.
same strain. Okay.
Can you let's say expound us like because I know you're based now, you're into Cubans, and how do you keep the program? How do you keep the Cuban family? How do you keep the family intact?
Well, of course, the family started by being successful flyers, and then as opportunity presented itself, I pick up birds from other fanciers that have also been successful in that strain, and then I keep the strain alive that way. Now, you get to the point, where when you've had birds long enough, you know exactly what you like, and
So that's your breeding program. You have any more question about breeding?
You? You guys?
Yeah. Well, what about okay? So we can move on to the health, well, health of the birds. What are the important keys for the health of the birds for you?
that's kind of a loaded question. The bird has to be healthy, or it ought to be eliminated. If a bird is sick, you don't want to keep it in your loft, because sickness has a way of spreading. And just to take a bird that's sick and isolate it is dangerous enough, because a lot of these diseases are airborne. And so that means that if you have a bird over here isolated, a whole loft over here, those over here could catch it as well. So if you're not going to keep them healthy, you're in trouble.
What about what's your watering program? You know how we have this watering program? What you give them on certain days, and what do you put in your waters in a week?
Well,
Spilling out the secrets.
during the young bird season when we're racing, we have something in the water every day, but it's something different. So we'll just let it go at that.
There you go. So do you have the same the racing and the breeders, when you're breeding, they have the same water or no? They have a different program.
No, different program.
Okay, yeah, that's also a secret.
But the health is very important.
So how did you become successful in the racing sports? How did you get up to the top 10, top 5 in the race?
He's the best in our club.
Well, I don't
would say.
claim to be top anything. I just say that after you have success, you need to want to be successful again. And if you like the birds, you want to take care of them properly. A lot of people like birds, but they don't care for them. They just hit and miss taking care of them. Their diet is inconsistent. The time that they feed in the morning and the evening is inconsistent. Some days they skip altogether. Well, those birds aren't going to perform. Consistency is very important in pigeon fly. Especially in racing. You can get by with it a little bit with a loft of birds that are just resting between breeding seasons. But if you're going to fly to be competitive, you have to be consistent.
Like, how often you feed your pigeons, and do you advise to feed them in the morning and feed them in the afternoon?
Yeah, twice a day.
Twice a day.
Racers and breeders when you're breeding
Everything gets fed twice a day.
twice a day.
However, they get different feeds.
Different things.
So is it bad if you only feed like once a day?
Some people feed only once a day and they're very successful at it. And more power to them. That's just not the way I do it. I like to eat twice a day.
Yes,
That's true.
or more.
Yeah, more with merienda.
Yeah. What about the loft? Let's talk about the loft. What are the elements in the loft that you let's try to
Especially here
educate
in,
the
in Texas,
Yeah.
the ideal loft here.
ideal loft in
Oh, that's a filth.
yeah.
Well, in Texas, the ideal loft is to have a loft with a lot of ventilation.
A lot of ventilation because it can get humid here in Texas.
So is it different from if you live in the north versus
Yeah,
you
I've
live here in the south?
visited lofts in Nebraska.
When you were in Chicago.
Visited lofts in Northwest Nebraska.
Uh-huh.
And we had it insulated with windows and heating it in the winter. So closed in it was. I couldn't enjoy that. And on the other hand, my son flew up there one year, and so I went up to help him. And we had the birds running around on top of the snow, and they did just well. In fact, he won 2 600-mile races week to week. With those three hours.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice, 600 miles.
So when you were in California, the Southern California, or
Fresno is up north.
Fresno
Oh,
is in
north.
central California,
Oh,
middle of the San Joaquin Valley.
okay. Yeah, because we have a lot of viewers in the Philippines, and it's a tropical country. And I was wondering if it's southern, if it's like the Florida, how they have a loft, that it can be comparison to ideal for. Because there's gonna be a lot of Filipino viewers, and of course there's a tropic, so the loft would vary from
Yeah.
the one that we find.
Certainly lost a very,
It's more humid over here.
where we live. Sure.
What else? You have any more questions? What would you advise the new flyers like Richard over here that's starting out?
I would advise him to come see me and we'll work together.
There you go. That's the invitation there. Yeah.
So, do you enjoy the young birds season better or the old birds race?
Well, at this point I fly young birds because well, I'm almost 89 years old, so I'm kind of limited in my ability to move around. So it gets to be too much. It's quite a chore to take care of young birds.
Young birds. So it's harder to take care of young birds.
It is.
It is, and
It depends upon whether you enjoy it or not.
yeah, okay.
You have to teach them. The old birds may have an
But if
experience.
you enjoy it, it's like nothing.
I've enjoyed pigeons all my life. And when I used to work and I'd have tensions on the job, I'd come home and go to my pigeon loft and I'd free myself of all the anxiety that I experienced during the day
Yes.
and just enjoy myself with my birds. And I still do.
I think that's what all fans here do. real fanciers, except the like feather merchant
Yeah.
fanciers. Other than that, I think we're all the same.
Yeah, well, that's good.
The bug is there. No matter what you do, it just keeps on coming back. You know, like I started when I was 7, in and out, in and out, in and out. And then when I told my dad, like, what the hell are you thinking? You're all in. Well, that's just for kids.
Just for kids.
Yeah, but it just keeps on coming back. And same as the guys that's here right now. We all started as young kids with birds, and now we're 40 years old. Here we are, we're with birds still.
Well, I think one of the most enjoyable things about pigeon flying is the people that you associate with.
Yeah.
That's another thing.
You're all like-minded. They become close friends. You respect them, and hopefully they respect you a little too.
Yeah,
And you get along and you do things together.
yeah,
And I find that very enjoyable.
yeah. No, so am I. I mean the age gap. I think I was like, aside from what's his name, Jesse's son back then. I think I'm the youngest in the club.
Yeah.
I'm also the also Asian guy in the whole combine. And now there's gonna be 3. So no, but I enjoy those Friday nights. We go back. We go to the clubhouse. We have we had potluck. We eat together, and then we load the birds.
Have a beer or two.
Have a beer, 2. A beer like it's bottomless. We have a sponsor, Graham. Graham sponsored us with that. What do you call that, Mr. Coffee? Turkey? No, not. He has a special beer like a Brit.
Yes, he doesn't know anything beyond Lone Star.
No, he has another one. He has
You know, it drinks out of the glass too.
yeah, he has a.
One thing out of a can, he drinks out all the glass.
Yeah, I'm talking about, but we have I know, what's his name?
One company, he makes beer.
Yeah, he makes beer, yeah. He brews him, he brews his, the principal guy,
Jack?
Jack. Yeah, he brews his own beer, and I've tried them, they're good. So, yeah, that's our club, because, I was telling, Vince, like, or the other people that I talked to from other state, they just load the birds, they don't really handle just, all business with birds. But I said, no, in our club back then,
Just
we
have
hang
fun.
out, yeah,
Have fun, hang out with the.
talk about stuff. And
These
all
are your
that.
friends.
Yeah,
I have 2 more questions before we go
yeah.
and we get a tour. The first one, do you believe in motivation, like
Oh,
motivating
absolutely.
your birds?
You bet.
And when does that start? Is it the young bird season or the old bird season or
It
both?
starts when you start feeding the birds every evening.
So that's actually a motivation for them, water and feed and.
You teach them to respond to your calling.
And what are the other motivations that you do? Like, like.
Well, in young birds, it's minimal. With old birds, they're allowed.